You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
Warning: adult topics and content. You must be legal age of majority in your location to view. We are an educational, informative talk show, and our hosts may express their opinions passionately using explicit language. No offense is intended. Take a break and tune in for some great cannabis and psychedelic chit-chat. Learn what's going on in the cannabis industry, find out what's new on the review, and enjoy a laugh or two. Join us for today's Tokin'Talk here on the Pace Radio Network with Reverend Cindy and Green Irene.
Hello, Cindy.
Hi.
I've got Ashley here with me. She's going to join us for a quick toke today.
Awesome. Hi, Ashley.
Hi, how you doing, Cindy?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Oh, you have no idea. I made a smoothie earlier this morning, and I put a lemon tech in it. Way overdid it. I feel great now after a shower and yoga, but
Echo off.
it was rough. So now I'm excited to have this joint and start my day officially.
Allow me.
Throwing a lemon tech in your smoothie, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, it happens to the best of us.
Oh, and Cindy's having her tea. I've got my coffee, and it's the perfect saying today for me. Sorry for what I said before my coffee. I had, with the weather changing and everything, I had a bit of a rough night, right?
Oh, fibromyalgia can be a bitch that way.
Well, yeah, it's fibromyalgia for sure. And I think, with this seasonal changing, the dampness, the frost, the temperatures going up and down, it just really does get to me. And at nighttime, I'm not able to combat it the same as I can during the day. During the day, I can say, oh, you know what? I see this coming. And I can do a self-hypnosis treatment or something that, basically every time I get that pinch of pain, I can hit my baby finger and boom, I'm seeing something else or thinking about something else. And I can deal with it. But when I'm sleeping, well, my subconscious has free reign, and sometimes the legs start splaying, and
That sucks. Yeah. I taught myself, and I can't tell you how I did it because I have no idea. But I taught myself how to control my dreams and to lucid dream when I was a kid. And it's something I haven't, and now I understand why I did it. I did it to combat what was happening to me. But what a pleasure it is to have that now, because 90% of the time I can do that in my dreams. So if I had the self-hypnosis that I had to hit my pinky finger when I was feeling pain, when I was sleeping, I'd be able to do that. Because my subconscious doesn't have free reign 90% of the time. 10% of the time it does. There are some nights that I have so I can completely empathize with you. But I somehow taught myself how to lucid dream and do that stuff when I was a child out of necessity. And I'm super thankful for now as an adult that suffers with pain.
That is so cool, Cindy, because I'm sitting here thinking, how sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees, or you don't see the trees for the forest? As you're saying it, it's like, yeah, why didn't I just do that in my self-hypnosis, set it so that if I'm feeling that at any point in time, whether I'm sleeping, my subconscious, and Ashley sitting behind me going, well, that's what you taught me to do.
Way harder to take your own advice and
you
see
forget we don't
objectively.
We don't teach ourselves the same as we teach others.
Yeah.
And you know what? A friend of mine, my friend Steve, he's the gentleman who's going to be joining the network soon. Him and I we chat on the regular, and we realize that when we are giving somebody else advice, that most of the time we are saying something that we need ourselves to hear. So what we need to do is change that habit and open our ears and listen to what we say to everybody, because we all know that if somebody's raging at somebody else, it's because of what's going on inside. Well, you know what? That comes from that goes with all the advice and all the love too, right? If you're giving that advice, there's a part of you that needs to hear that. And absolutely. I think Irene just learned that particular piece of advice right now.
Yeah, really kind of big time too, right? Wow. And yeah, so last night could have been a much better night, and I can guarantee you that tonight will be a very good night.
There will be a self-hypnosis session going on later today, will there?
Absolutely. Well, you know what? I do it every day. I meditate every single day, and because I am a hypnotherapist by nature and training, it's naturally my meditations are naturally trance inducting. You know, they really are kind of a combination. There's a lot of hypnotic patter in my meditation, self-scripting, if you will. So. And I do it every day. I think it's very important that we give our brains that time to recharge and regenerate. And I think it's meditation is an excellent way to open up and create new neural pathways of thought processes, you know, like to get your brain thinking in different directions, to open. The more opportunities, the more options you have available to you, the better choices we're going to make, right? So I love playing in the playground of the brain. I think it is one of the most fascinating places to be.
Absolutely.
And, you know,
how is your lemon tech tour of your brain going back there, Ashley?
Yeah, it was very much in my body and very much grounding. What was ironic, though, I think, to bring it full circle, is that I was called first to clean up, and then it was clean my body. After I cleaned the kitchen, it was go clean your body, so I went and had a shower. And normally I do that at my house because this one's my parents, but we do spend a lot of time here. And then so I did that, and then afterwards I'm still not like over it. It was still really, really strong, so I did some yoga, and it was like 7th chakra yoga. So I went literally from the grounding all the way up to bring it full circle. And now it's like just the integration. Now I'm calm. My body feels more at peace. A lot of what came through, I think, was that I still had releasing to do. And it's funny that you said, Cindy, that what we need to hear, what we're telling other people, because I was just telling a client of mine, you haven't finished releasing from that last full moon and eclipse. I was like, what else are you still holding on to? And what came through for me actually was that I'm still holding on to stuff. So I wrote all that out in my yoga practice. And now I'm actively in my mind, I think, with what mind space I've got control of, figuring out how to take what I still have to release and put actionable steps to each one.
Yeah. When your mom was talking, she just made me think of that, because everything you were saying and what meditation does for you, microdosing does for me.
They're so much the same, I think.
Yeah, I would love to learn a little bit about what Irene does in the meditation and do it while microdosing.
Well, I'll tell you a really cool experience, and this is one of the reasons in why I tend to hesitate, or have hesitated historically about using hallucinogenics. I have one of those exceptionally well-equipped brains that as a child I could see something, hear something, feel something, and recall that with ease like that at any point in time. Very quick to recall memory. In addition to that, I have always been able to disappear into my own head. And as a child, like you say, that is a protection mechanism, right?
The dissociation.
That's disassociation is self-preservation. But I got so good at it. And then as a young adult, I was very good at the passive listening. I could engage in multiple conversations, not have a clue what we were conversing about, but know the right times to interject certain statements that would keep the conversation rolling. And my brain was still absorbing the information, even though I wasn't cognitively aware of it. I could mull it over later. With the meditation practice, now that I actually have become tutored in hypnosis and trained in neurolinguistic programming, as well as meditation practices, I can actually funnel and channel my thought processes and do these things on purpose instead of instinctively. The trips that I can take in a 15-minute meditation are phenomenal. Like, I mean, I hear about people doing this shit on acid. I'm telling you, I can do it just through deep breathing and to get myself into that transcendental place and state.
Yeah, you're still releasing DMT. Like, we're all holding one of the most potent drugs inside of our lungs and inside of our pineal gland at all times. So if you're activating both, like your lungs through the breath work, and then your two eyes are closed, which means guess what? This one's opening.
Why?
So
Yeah.
you're getting a double hit of DMT, and you're absolutely 100% able to do that. Everybody is.
It's just, yeah,
It's
and
practice.
It's phenomenal. And I think to myself often, what do I really need this extra addition for? Do I need this extra addition or this supplement when I'm already achieving these planes of reality? And honest to God, it's the only way I can describe it. Recently,
you're doing it for your body, I think. Sorry to interrupt, but it's like,
yeah, because we hold all of those medications in our body. I mean, like ibogaine is in our liver, DMT is in our brain. It's you know, like we have all that in there, and through meditation you're learning how to release it from your body so you can enjoy the benefits of that natural medication.
Yeah, and both in the like outer body experience, but also in our physical body, which may be too why you're so called to cannabis. Because even though you're doing this work out there, maybe that's why you don't work or have that calling with a lot of the other psychedelics. But cannabis is a psychoactive plant. Like, it's amazing, but it also gives you that the body healing. Like Cambo too. Cambo's like in body, but then Bufo's like out of body.
Oh, is it ever?
I don't know. This is my favorite song. And you know what? Whenever I'm having a really miserable moment or a bad day or it's like, or like I caught a bit of the news and I get that whole spiraling down. I hate mainstream media news. Or even, and I'm not a super fan of Alex Jones either. The news that I find very disturbing. So I do this. I listen to music because music and meditation go really well. And this song right here, anybody recognize it? Can you hear it okay?
Yeah, turn it up just a little bit. It's not as loud as it was earlier.
Everybody knows it.
I smoke 2 joints in the morning. I smoke 2 joints at night.
Whole lot in between.
In the afternoon, it makes me feel alright. I smoke 2 joints in time of peace and 2 in time of war. I smoke 2 joints before I smoke 2 joints.
I have to stop it so that we don't get trademark copyrighted or
get in trouble.
But yeah, that's one of my favorite songs. Now, of course, Mahawk Beats does it. Sublime, I think, was the original artists of it. But Bob Marley, he's one of my absolute favorites. And I didn't know anything about Bob Marley prior to becoming a cannabis connoisseur, which is really kind of funny to me. And so I don't find it overly ironic when newcomers to, like, newbies to cannabis say, oh, who's Bob Marley? I always do I ask the same question. And then once you actually look into who Bob Marley is and what his purpose and his statement and his mission and his passion, and like, it's just so encapsulating. And another one that really, I always like Snoop Dogg. I always,
he's pretty badass. He's like, what are you?
You want to know what I absolutely adore about that man is, like, now in his senior years, he's coming out and he's showing us who Snoop Dogg really is and always has been.
Right.
And to find out that this drug-riddled, alcoholic party dude was nothing but a front, and he really is a homebody, loving husband and father, is just like, why didn't you show me this before? I might have actually paid attention to you.
Okay.
I have all kinds of respect for that man now, and I love him now, like, because of who he's shown the world that he is, right?
I gotta ask, have you seen Holy Ears? Oh my God. You haven't seen it? Okay, Mike Tyson, the world's heavyweight boxer champion, one who bit the ear off Holyfield, whatever, Okay, they've got their own cannabis edibles.
Oh yeah, the ear with the chunk out of it.
Yeah. Oh my God, I saw the commercial. I posted it a half a dozen times. Cindy, I fucking laughed so hard. I had tears coming down my cheeks. I love Holyfield's laugh at the end.
But do you know what helped them heal?
Doing great. Real
Psychedelics. They ran off and did all kinds of psychedelics, and they healed. And now they've come back and they use, basic psychedelics and psilocybin to stay healed. Like, I mean, like these men have shown us what this medication can really freaking do. Because Tyson, they were freaking insane, and now look at them, right?
So comedic too. Like their reels on Instagram are insane. I can just get lost in it. I'm like listening to someone on repeat, and I don't usually get caught in the scrolling trap, but I got mad respect.
Yeah,
and they got good game, and they know business. They know so many things, and to recover after like so many brain injuries and whatever else happened to their body, the physical and mental trauma that would come from that kind of lifestyle. Yeah, they're healing it all. And Mike Tyson's been a great advocate. I definitely was one of the ones that followed Snoop Dogg from the beginning. I loved him then. I love him now. I love that he worked with Martha Stewart, that he ended up making a cookbook. And now he's still being really empowering. I saw recently he was standing up on stage to collect some award, and he's like, thank you to whoever you had to say thank you to. And he's like, and most importantly, I want to say thank you to me who stayed up all these nights, me that worked so hard, me that gave up and sacrificed here and did this and made this.
And do you know who probably put that in his mind to say? His wife. She said, now you make sure that you do this, right? Because they're such a power couple. Right, when he finally dropped all that, I'm this party boy, and came out as the human that he is, started working with Martha Stewart and showing off his wife and his kid, he's an amazing dude.
The kids movies he does, he usually plays dogs too. He's cool, man.
Is Puppy here?
I'm not sure where he is.
You might want to see if he wants to come in for a puff.
And one of the other artists that has done us a world of good, of course, is the one that we are all scared to smoke his weed, because Lord knows what it would do to us. He probably has the most powerful weed in the world, would be Willie Nelson.
Oh God, I would love to smoke a joint with Willie. I really do want to. You know what? Just because
even if I end up that drooling mess on the floor like all of his peers say they've ended up, okay. But Willie Nelson did it to me, and I'd have a story.
Right. Okay, I'm sorry, but I would. Yeah.
I might sing that song after I smoke a joint with Willie, but I would definitely go. I would go through the greening out process just to do it.
Yep, just 2 seconds.
Mama, she once told me, son, you do the best you can. Then one day, I met a man who came to me and said,
we'll be back after the sharing of the joint, passing the toke. So as you can see, I've got a group of people joining us today doing the hey. It was really cool to see all the entries we got for last week. And we got another cool prize to give away this week. And again, it's really easy to enter. The only reason we ask a trivia question or whatever it is we've been putting out there is to ensure that you're not a robot, that you really are a human being watching the show. You picked up and you're passing it along.
Because we do get those emails too. We are subject to all the emails that everybody else is subject to, the spam stuff and everything else. And we got one in there from somebody, like we made the email 4 weeks ago, but he's been emailing us for 6 months, asking us to do something. And we got to go to this webpage and we got to do it. It's hilarious. And y'all get them,
right. So when you enter the contest, the whole point is to and you've got until next Monday. So whatever we announce on our show Tuesday, you've got until the following Monday to get the answer get it emailed into us, and then get your name entered on the wheel. And of course, I enter them in sometime between Monday night and, well, a couple of minutes before noon on Tuesday.
Also, speaking of our giveaways, if you want to sponsor our giveaways, there are two ways that you can do it. One, if you don't have anything to give away, but you want to help the show, you can sponsor. We can make a 30-second ad that tells people about you and why you're doing this, and it'll air before we do the giveaways once a week here on this show. If you do have something that you would like us to promote, I love to promote stuff. So if you have something that you want us to give away, you want us to promote, you want some basically, want us to talk about it for 2 shows in a row, because you get talked about it when we do the giveaway, when we announce it, and you get talked about when we give it away. So you get 2 weeks worth of advertising for a donation of something to give away, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So 2 ways to support us. Well, 3 ways. Watch us too, right?
Yeah.
So
we talk about people. You're off. All right. You have a great day and enjoy. I'm alone all again. Well, I'm alone here with you, Cindy, and our listeners. Yay! Hi, everybody. Okay. But yeah, no, there's a lot of different ways to support us, and I love that idea. I love talking about the people who talk about us. Do you know what I mean? And yeah. So this week, some of the stuff, should I announce now? Hello, Tim. How you doing? So this week, I have a couple of cool things to give away. I've been finding my swag as time goes on. So this week, shall I show it? Shall I show what I've got going on this week so far? Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? Before I do, I got to find that other basket. Where did it go? Sorry, Cindy, you keep talking. I got to find that other basket.
Okay. Irene is off. She's got the giveaway on her end this time. So we had it together, or she had it together, but then she put everything away to keep things neat. And now she's got to go find it all again. For sure. I'm sitting here rolling a joint. What am I rolling? I am not sure. It is something that I forgot I had. A piece of cannabis I brought back from BC. It's absolutely phenomenal. I wish I could remember the name of it, because then I would enter it in on my book that I have. But look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Let me see if I can get a good light on it.
Okay.
Yeah. Absolutely gorgeous. I can't remember what it's called though.
But I can't find the basket. Where on earth did I put the basket?
I don't know.
So that being said, and it's not in that little cubby, it's not in that cubby, or that cubby, and she starts right in front of my eyeballs, but I can't see it. It's one of those days, guys. For shit's sakes, there it is.
She just had to keep looking, and then she found it.
Right. Okay, so I've got all kinds of fun stuff. This week we have, because it's wintertime, I have really cool toque.
Nice.
Okay, and this is from Drizzle Sound Factory. So Drizzle Factory, great product. Loved some of their concentrates. I don't know if you got to try any at Karma Cup. I know I did.
Yes. Very good stuff.
Great. So I'm gonna send you the toque. If you're the winner, we'll announce the winner, of course, next Tuesday. So I've got that. I have a really cool doob tube still in my swag collection from Raw. Along with that, I have in my collection, and we're going to add this right now, some pure hemp rolling papers. The
nice papers.
Okay. And then I have just a little swag bag from Green Irene that has a keychain in it and a round to it, because you know what? We're always all looking for that round to it. I'm going to get around to it. Irene, Green Irene is going to give you a round to it. Okay. And on top of that, if you can, and here's the contest for next week, if you could tell me what my favorite song is, you can win the t-shirt that says smoke weed every day.
Can I enter? I know the answer. How about that t-shirt?
There you go. There you go. And it's a really cool t-shirt. It's a nice, it's, I don't know what kind of material I guess nylon, rayon. I don't know what it is. And it's in Japanese, or Chinese. It's in a different language. Okay. So here we go again. Are we ready?
Hard work good and hard work fine, but first take care of health. So now I smoke 2 joints when I get up. In the car I smoke 2 joints. I smoke 2 joints when I play video games, and at every 10,000 points I smoke 2 joints. I smoke 2.
There you go. I love that song. It's my absolute favorite song. And you know what? I love the version by Bob Marley as much as I love the version by Sublime. So
They both did an awesome job at singing the song "Smoke 2 Joints." Absolutely. I'm so glad it's your favorite song and you shared it with us.
Yeah. Now I can only share it in bits and pieces. Otherwise, YouTube's going to get mad at me and somebody's going to yell at me for copyright, and then we're going to get blocked and all that fun stuff. So we're not going to do that, but just do it in bits and pieces. And I'm going to cut this into the envelope now. And you have until Monday night at 7 to get your entries in. You email your answer and your name to Tokin'Talk. Oops, I guess I should be having this up on the screen, shouldn't I? Just mail your answer with your name to tokin'Talk@hotmail.com. That's T with a like tea that you drink, TEA, and Toke, TOKE, @hotmail.com before 7:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Monday night, so that I can add your name to the wheels sometime between Monday night and Tuesday at noon. Get that answer to me, and you can be entered into next week's competition to win this prize package. Woo!
And speaking of giveaways, I am going to go on this weekend. The author of the book from last week that we're giving away, he's doing another craft fair. So I'm going to go see him in person this weekend and pick up the winning book and get that mailed off.
How cool is that? That is really so exciting. Cool. Okay, why don't we cut to a quick commercial break from our sponsors, and when we get back, maybe we can run the wheel. We'll make sure that we've got all the names on there, and everything's in order. Good?
Sounds good.
All right. Okay, we'll be back in 2 and 2, guys. As soon as I find the commercial, we'll be back in 2 and 2. All right.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
In February of 2022, the Victoria Cannabis Buyers Club and Ted Smith were fined $6.5 million. This for helping 8,500 patients with access to medical cannabis. In our interview with Ted, he spoke to us about how people can donate to help in an upcoming court challenge. And here is part of that interview. From what I've seen lately, I believe that you've got something that you're trying to do as far as fundraising to deal with this next court challenge.
For now, people can write checks directly to Jack Lloyd Law Corporation or send e-transfers to save the VCBC at gmail.com. I guess those are the 2 easiest ways for people to help right now.
What do you find at paceradio.net? People advocating cannabis education.
Did you know that the Pace Radio Network isn't just a radio network? That's right, because most, but not all of our programming is now done via video and is then podcasted at paceradio.net. So if you want to watch our programming, you'll find us on the Pace Radio Network's Facebook page, plus the show's own page, and you'll find us live on the network's YouTube channel. And don't forget, you can find it all, video and audio, at paceradio.net.
Cannabis edibles are an effective way to manage pain and other ailments, especially when you deal with your trusted partner, Legacy 420, in Tyendinaga Mohawk territory. You see, we lab test every product on site to ensure proper dosage every time, which is critical when consuming cannabis edibles. All Legacy 420 edibles are made by our classically trained baker and chocolatier, and we also have super tasty vegan options.
Our baker has been in the industry for 25 years. She's also a chocolatier. Everything from savory to sweet, your chocolate bars, brownies, butter tarts, you name it, we make it.
Talk to our knowledgeable Canatechs about our incredible variety available. Give your trusted partners a call. Legacy 420 out on your road.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
And we're back. Look at that. We got the wheel generator up and in place. You can see. Can you see that okay, Cindy?
Yep.
I think it's all there. Okay. And here is, oh, you know what? Let me just go there to show that first. Okay. There you go. So to win a trip to Saturn, which is both illustrated and written by Jacob Rolfe. And our question was, actually, for a second there, I was thinking my brain was saying that, sorry, that brain fart. Okay. Okay, our question was, what show did he play a bit part on? And the answer to that was Trailer Park Boys. And everybody that's entered onto the wheel here answered correctly, and they had their entry in by Monday evening before 7 p.m. Actually, I don't know if it was before 7 p.m. They all got added to the wheel today at noon. All right, that being said, let's go to the wheel and let's give her a run. Are we ready?
Mm-hmm.
Spin. Woohoo!
Nada Tracy, you are the winner.
Nada, yeah, there we go. Woohoo! And there we go.
Awesome.
So that's
how exciting is that?
That is very exciting. Now, I didn't have a last name to go with that. That's how they signed their email. So that's how I added it to the wheel generator. So Nada, with a kiss and a hug at the end, you are this week's winner of the book by Jacob Rolfe, A Trip to Saturn. Nice. Amazing illustrations in there. Just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
Yes.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay. So that takes care of that. That was our Tokin'Talk giveaway.
Congratulations, Nada. Yay!
Hey, woohoo! You know what? I haven't heard from Johnny. He should have received his book by now.
He did. He tagged you on Instagram, and it didn't get you tagged on Facebook, but he tagged you on Instagram.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. I haven't been able to spend much time in the social media socializing part of things.
Yep.
As you know, I've been very busy with a multitude of different projects going on, which is in and of itself very exciting, but it does keep me isolated from communications. So that's really cool. I'm glad he got it. The packages with the, if you're watching, Johnny, with your feather, like one of these are some of the newer ones going out, like your feather roach clip, which also acts as a bookmark, is in the mail now. I had to repackage them, as is yours, Cindy. I had to repackage them because they were thicker than the 2 inches, which means they didn't fit through that slot. Yep. So instead of costing me $4 or $5 to send, they were going to cost me $23 and $27 to send. And you know what? I could take a couple of days to repackage this. And so I did. Yeah. Canada Post. I only I like to give as little of my dollars to the Canadian government as I possibly have to.
And don't we all?
Right. You know what? If I had more respect, I have a lot of respect for the institution of government. I have a lot of disrespect for those that are currently in government or acting as government.
Oh, they're taking advantage of their positions.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Not to get into a political conversation because I am not equipped.
No, nor am I.
Yeah. I avoid it like the plague. As soon as I see it going through, it's like liar, 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 liar. And then I was actually doing that the other day, this weekend, going liar, 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 liar. And then you know what showed up on my screen? Liar, liar with Jim Carrey. And it's like, oh my God. I remember
they're listening
to this years ago. So I turned it on, and while I was getting some Christmas gifts done and created and stuff, I listened to Liar, Liar in the background. And that's so much more entertaining than listening to these politicians these days.
Absolutely. I started off this year with for the Christmas movies, I started off with my favorite, Die Hard.
Very cool, very cool. Need for Speed. Totally, you know what? Like, and I mean, it had my attention. There I was, hypnotized to the screen. I've seen the video, like I've seen the movies probably a dozen times if I've seen them once. But there I am. Oh yeah, come on, go, right? Like it's just, yeah. I'm a nut bar for certain things like that. So
Yeah.
Die Hard. I love Bruce Willis. And the reason I went to the Need for Speed is Bruce Willis is the podcaster. He's announcing this big race, right? So, and he does all the, So
yeah,
it's a broadcaster and very cool. Whenever I think of Die Hard or Need for Speed, I think of Bruce Willis.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, Die Hard is. They were my movies. They helped me get through university. Whenever I studied, they were the movies I had on in the background every single time.
Very cool.
I did very well in university thanks to Die Hard.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. We were talking about music and helping with meditation and stuff like that. Have you ever like left the TV on a bad station or something when you fell asleep and then you wake up like just frazzled or irritated as fuck the next day? Oh, there's that explicit language. You know what? We can't do a show without it.
No.
Throw that in there. Anyway, but do you ever find that?
Yeah, no, that happens to me too. That's why I pick happy, funny shows to watch now as I'm falling asleep.
Yeah. I really like to use YouTube and get some, like I like the binaural beats or having like and you'll notice it on my Wednesday show. I use a lot of Native American influence for beats. I love the Native American drums for healing. I love the Native American flute for transcendental communications. And so I like to play that at night. But recently, I think one of the neighbors had on their television set way too loud, and it was whatever it was, and the screaming and yelling. I'm telling you, I woke up the next day. I could have ripped somebody's face off just for looking at a puppy the wrong way.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I think it was because of that subconscious or subliminal influencing, right, of the music and behind. So I don't know why I went to that subject.
I don't know. That was a really good dab.
But
I'm
look at
smoking
that.
sativa and it's almost gone. Sour amnesia is the only sativa I have.
Get out. You know what? I just finished up sour amnesia, just finished adding it to my journal. And the sativa that I just finished a few minutes ago is Ventura Dog. And it's by Weed Me. It was so yummy, so good tasting. Good bang for your buck because you got the little 10 half grammars, right?
I got I picked up this. If we're gonna talk about what we got at it's Station House is the brand.
Okay. Yeah.
And they put together a Christmas package.
Oh, I love those Station House Christmas package.
Yes.
Okay, tell me more.
So there are 6 different joints in here, and they've done them all up and color coded them on the front.
Yep.
Right? And then put them in dube tubes. And they're really, really nice dube tubes. So we've got Northern Lights, Jack Frost, Gingerbread Kush, which is fucking phenomenal, Milk and Cookies, Sugar Plum Fairy, which is the only sativa, and Christmas Tree Cake. So Sugar Plum Fairy is a sativa, Northern Lights is an indica, and the rest of them are hybrid.
Yes. Oh, very nice. Okay, so I'm going to be checking at my local dispensary. I have a couple around me. They're on every corner. I love it. Yeah, you know what? I love those variety packs from like General Admission does them. One Spliff does them. And you'll notice that I have, I do a lot of experimenting because as you know, I like to try all the different strains. And I have a collection.
She's off again. Running through the house looking for something that she has. I don't know what she's off to get. She's going to show us a collection of something.
When I was looking for my swag, I just got this put together and organized because I thought, geez, you were saying all these nice doob tubes, right? And I love some of the creativity with the packaging, and I recognize the competition for the branding and why they're trying the things that they're trying. I am very fearful for our landfills in the future. I am someone who practices what I preach. And so when I say reduce, reuse, recycle, I'm one of those persons who genuinely does that. So I hold on to things, not that I'm a hoarder, because I will reuse these in a multitude of ways. And so far, I've probably sent out 30, 40 of them, maybe with a doobie in it or some packaging or something. But this was 2022 doobies that I have so far. Are you ready? I don't know whether I should be disturbed or not. Oh, look, see, we've got some of, okay, so you were trying, I guess, drift as well.
That was when I was in Ontario. We don't have this in Nova Scotia.
Okay. Yeah. Now, the one your trial package there that you were telling, or your sample package, the one that I like is by One Spliff, and it's got Pineapple Express, frosted cherry. It's got a banana in it and something.
Okay, well,
else.
we don't get them here. Do you? If you don't get Station House there, why don't we exchange packs? I'll go grab one for you and mail it up if you don't have Station House up there.
That sounds
and you pick out your favorite and send it down, and then we'll compare.
Look
at these. Look at these doob tubes.
Aren't they awesome? The square ones? Yeah. We've got a couple of those as well. I like those ones. Honestly, though, I think these are my favorite for recycling, and they're glass.
Yes. Yes, I had a couple of those when I was in Ontario too.
Yeah, I reuse those for all kinds of things, right? And I like those with the cork in them. And then, pretty much everything else is pretty standard doob tube. I don't care for these little beaker styles. I find the little beaker style for the joint is too risky. It breaks too easily, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But, the plastic scares me for good and obvious reasons. Do you know what would be really cool? And I'd love to see it happen. Do you remember when we were kids and we used to go and get our pop and it would be in bottles? And so you return the bottle and it would go to the bottle washing company, but you would get like a 30-cent deposit or a quarter deposit or a nickel or a dime, whatever era you're from.
There are recycle programs in Ontario. You get so much per different jar in certain dispensaries, and you get store credit for it. So you can use it to purchase or use it towards your purchase or save it up for a rainy day because they'll keep track of it for you. I can't remember because we reported on it on Reefer, and I can't remember. Hey, Carolyn, I can't remember which dispensaries they were, but there were various dispensaries within Toronto that had a recycle program. I'm not sure if it's still going on. This was like a year or more ago.
Okay. And again, therein lies the value of listening to the Reefer Reporters, right? I mean, I can't simply do everything.
No, gosh, no, it's hard. And the only reason why, I know is because I was the person that read that particular story. So it rings like a memory in me, right? It would be interesting to look it up though and find out if they're still doing it and how successful it is. Because like you, I worry about like this enormous packaging that they have. I mean, like this is like this isn't too bad. There's 6 doobies. These are really high-end doob tubes. I mean, they're really in there, right?
Yeah.
And you really have to work to push it in. And so they're really great doob tubes. So reduce, reuse, and recycle. But that's,
And that cost is translated in the price of our cannabis. I mean, as a manufacturer, as a business, you have to look at your cost of production. It's not just the weed that you're selling. You're also selling your packaging and you have to, you have to include that into your pricing strategy. And that being said, there is a lot of excessive packaging that I've noticed. I don't have anything right handy and I know where the other box is and I won't be able to run fast enough to get it. But the excessive packaging is a concern. When I get a little joint about this big in a dube like this, a dupe holder like this, inside of a box, inside of one of those envelopes, honey, I don't want to pay $3 for the package. I wanted to pay $10 for the infused joint. Not the infused packaging.
Yeah. And I mean, some of them have, they've switched to glass containers versus plastic or something. Some of them have switched to, like, I mean, if you go in and buy half an ounce, it's just in a bag like this. You open up the bag, and which is a lot better than they used to, because it used to be, in a plastic container, in a box, in another bag, and then they would put it in another bag and seal that bag when they're selling it to you. And it was insane. So some of them, not all, have improved. They've heard and they've made differences, but and I understand why they're using dube tubes in this case.
Mm-hmm.
But still, that's still a lot of plastic for that.
Right. But it wouldn't be if you could recycle it.
Yeah, which I will.
Like, like beer bottles, for example, or liquor bottles, wine bottles. There's no reason we shouldn't be doing our dube tubes that they're recyclable, at the very least, the dube tubes. And why aren't we making our packaging out of hemp, which is biodegradable and very affordable?
And kind of supports the whole cannabis thing at the same time. Right.
Yep.
And the language that they're giving the government employees is just, it blows my mind. It really upsets me. I mean, they're teaching them to call it a drug.
Yeah.
And it just, like, it's and in here in Nova Scotia, they're putting it in the back of liquor stores.
Yeah. There's a lot to be, there's a lot of negative things that are happening right with respect to cannabis. There's a lot of challenges. I mean, I'm curious to see how the Cannabis Act review goes. I know there was a lot of feedback, certainly from the cannabis community that we're involved with, as to responding to that question. And it was such a vague and obscure question in the middle of nowhere, really. And should we just do away with the medical program now that we've got retail? Could you imagine a parent going into a dispensary and saying, my child has epileptic seizures, and what would you recommend?
And their answer would be that the government has given them would be, I'm sorry, but we're not doctors, and the government sees this as a drug, so we can sell you what you ask for.
Yeah. Yeah. Which sends the parent back to the doctor, who says, I'm sorry, the government has said I can't recommend or advise on this because it doesn't have a drug identification number, which, it's like there's so much. And I mean, I get from the government perspective, I understand why they would want to do away with it. I mean, they get rid of insurance claims. They get rid of WSIB claims. I mean, how many millions of dollars would be paid back to WSIB that has been paid out for cannabis as a medicine? Not to mention the fact that if they declare it as a medicine, do you know how many other medicines would have to come off the market? Not to mention the research that would have to stop at companies like Pfizer, and who's producing Marinol or Nabinol and all these other synthetic versions of the
yeah. And I mean, that wouldn't happen for a long time, because, I mean, as an activist, all I'm asking is to give our medicine the same respect that you're giving this medicine over here. So give it the DIN number, let it be covered, let people make their choice, and don't penalize them for picking cannabis by making them pay thousands of dollars a month.
Sure. And which to some degree makes sense. And the problem with giving it a DIN number, though, is you have to have a standardized base. So in other words, every Tylenol that comes out of that manufacturer has this profile. It has X amount of this, X amount of that. And you can't do that with cannabis. Cannabis is a living thing that changes by plant as well as levels in the plant, unless you synthesize it, which activists like us are saying, don't do that.
I've taken the synthesized stuff. It was very harmful.
Right. I mean, I did the same thing too. I tried it before I tried the real cannabis. As you all know, or many of you know, I was was very against the legalization of cannabis 20 years ago. I was not a consumer of cannabis by any stretch of the imagination. Now I'm the pot and then I became the pot preacher of Penetang. But yeah, so but the thing is because it's a plant, because it's look at you double fisting it. Not a girl.
I got 2 joints.
I smoked 2 joints and then I smoked 2 more. Hold on, I got it.
In time of peace and 2 in time of war. I smoked 2 joints before I smoked 2 joints, and then I smoked 2 more.
I love that music. You know, when I'm feeling kind of sluggish or whatever, I put on these songs, like this one in particular, the other one, 3 Little Birds, and you know, you guys all know the songs, right? Bob Marley, and so I smoke 2 joints, and I smoke 2 joints, and I dance around, and I kind of get into the groove. I even do the funky chicken dance, you know, the one where you look all screwy and rooey, and my grandson just loves it. Nanny's nuts, and that's okay because those are good memories. But it really helps get me out of the funk of the gloom and doom when you're waking up to this crap out there where it's gloomy, and this time of year without the sunshine, we're just not getting that oomph that we get in the summertime when the sun peaks up and it's bright and golden and sunshiny and we get all excited. We don't have that this time of year. So this kind of music, and I smoke 2 joints while I dance around. So there you go.
It works.
It really does.
It does.
It really does. Yep. And got the Tokin'Talk giveaway. Every week we give a package away. We send a package out to some lucky winner. This week, the package includes a toque from the Drizzle Factory. We have a keychain from Green Irene's Canna Creations. We have a doob tube from Raw. We have the papers to roll that doob with from Pure Hemp, and a t-shirt that says smoke weed every day. And there you go, because I smoked 2 joints and then I smoked 2 more.
Yes. We will be posting the question, which is, what is Green Irene's favorite song? And you can send the answer to tokin'talk@hotmail.com. Do this before next Monday at 7:10 p.m. and get your entries in. And the 2 of us will be making posts throughout the week to remind you to get your entries in. And we might even post, a hint here and there if you really pay attention. But get your entries in. This is a great toque. The toque is actually quite warm. I've got one too. I want the t-shirt though. Smoke weed every day. I want the t-shirt. And then I have one of the round 2-its. It actually helps get shit done, believe it or not, because now you don't have an excuse. And the keychains are super cute. I've got one of those too.
Very cool. Yep. So these are the round 2-its. And that round 2-it, it's literally a round 2-it for you. A round 2-it. Help you now. Whoops, that away. Help you now. Let me tell you about the round 2-it. You guard it with your life. 2-its are hard to come by, especially the round ones. For years, you've heard the people say, I'll do that when I get around to it. So now that you have one, you can accomplish all those things you put aside until you got around to it.
Neat.
Yeah.
Neat. I love it.
Very
cool. I love it.
I used to write it was a syndicated column for called A Word's Worth. Now I'm going back to the late 80s, early 90s, and I wrote it under a pseudonym, and I was in several little small town papers, but I was across Canada, so someone may or may not, and it was called A Word's Worth. And what it was based on the etymology of words, so the origin of words and colloquialisms and common phrases. Where does that come from? And you guys down there on the East Coast, or you gals, you peoples down there from the East Coast, a lot of our slang sayings come from the mariners. One of them in particular that comes to mind, you've heard the expression, it's cold enough to freeze the balls off a brass monkey. That comes from the East Coast, from a Nova Scotian captain who, the brass monkey was that ring on the ship that used to hold the cannonballs. The cannonballs being made of different metals than what the ring was. The ring was called the monkey because it really only served one purpose, and the ball, and which was to help stack and hold the balls in place on the ship's deck. When it got cold enough, those balls would shrink so much compared to the brass ring, the brass monkey ring, that the balls would fall off. Hence, it's cold enough to freeze the balls off a brass monkey. Cool, right?
Yes.
I don't know why I told that story.
Because you're high.
It was something about etymology and the origin of words and phrases and colloquialisms, and it came to me about the East Coast, and I don't know, I got sidetracked.
You get off. Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, I smoked 2 joints and then I smoked 2 more. Oh,
that's always what happens.
Yes. So getting around to it, doing all this writing, couple new books coming out in the coming weeks, and we'll be giving one away in a few more weeks. And I don't know if I will share the title of the new book next week. The book won't be available yet, but I will share the title.
Nice.
Excellent.
Nice. Wonderful. Well, I think we're getting to that time, and I got cut off last week because I was at my daughter's house, so my internet wasn't as great as I thought it was, and I missed y'all at the end of the show last week. So I'm going to remind you this week to get out there and do something nice for somebody. Give somebody a compliment. If you see something beautiful in somebody, tell them. Be the stone that casts that rock, because it's going to make a difference, and that person's going to run off and do that for somebody else, and that person's going to run off and do that for somebody else. Hence the ripple effect. And if you can have a positive ripple effect, it'll change the world. Even if even if it's just something small, it'll change the world. Even if it's just for one person.
Absolutely. Pay it forward. Saying something nice to someone. I pass someone in the hallway or someone in the elevator, and just a simple smile sometimes is more than enough to make someone's day, right? Absolutely. And on that note, I guess I'm just going to say, be happy, get healthy, and stay strong. Keep lit. We'll be back here next Tuesday once again with more Tokin'Talk time, some stoner spitballing, a couple more prizes to give away, and yeah, that about covers it. On that note, peace out.
Have a good week.
Yes. Oh, tune in on Wednesday, tomorrow, if you want to find out about meditation and a specific strain of cannabis. I think tomorrow I'm talking about train wreck. Oh, I'm doing train wreck and a really cool stress reduction meditation, which is only 12 to 15 minutes. So tune in at noon to try that out and learn about train wreck and how it accentuates that practice. And on Friday, of course, I'm back. On Thursday, you're here with Reefer Reporter.
Yep.
And which is news, cannabis, and psychedelics.
Which is actually like Pace News now. We're not Reefer Reporters anymore. We're Pace News Reporters.
That's right. And that's really cool because you really do focus on psychedelics as well as cannabis now, right? Which is psychedelics and cannabis education, which is so cool. And then on Friday, I'm back with battle strategies. And this week, I am helping you to cope and deal with eczema, for using cannabis to deal with the condition of eczema. So that's the weekly lineup here at the Pace Radio Network and on cbgtv.com. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and tune in. Get your entry in. On that note, ciao, everybody. Peace out.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
When you have a pain that's reached its peak, Legacy for 20, it's so unique. If organic cannabis is what you seek, here's your trusted partner 7 days a week. Suppository salves, vapes and drops, topicals, edibles, infused pop. Just when life seems like it ain't easy, at Legacy 420, enjoy a pop freezy. Lab tested products, make them the GOAT. Legacy 420 out on your